Welcome to the Flatcar Developer Sync. This is the November issue. As usual, we'll have a more developer-focused discussion today. We'll review some issues and look at new contributions. I'll second for Cyan today, who usually hosts this meeting. Danielle as well is still on vacation, so they'll be back next month. All right, let me share the agenda. Here we go. I don't see any new faces. Actually, Irvin is new. So I'll unshare and I'll give Irvin a minute to introduce himself.
Oh, what a pleasure. I'm happy to present myself as the latest and newest member of this community. I just joined Microsoft a few weeks ago, and one of my main roles are going to be to work and contribute to the Nebraska project. So I'm still in the onboarding ramp-up phase, but as I'm going to get accustomed and familiar with the project, please feel free to reach out to me, give me your feedback and those kind of things.
Thank you. Great to have you, Irvin. All right. Let's look at the agenda. Here we go. In the announcement section, we have our EURL 2 announcements, and the first one will actually go away in December because that one's unstable, that one's released. So we upgraded to Docker 26 or even newer. I'm not sure. I think Docker 27 is at least in the pipeline, and we upgraded from Docker 24. In that version jump are a number of deprecations from upstream. So that's not us. That's upstream Docker. Most notably, the device mapper storage driver has been removed. So test your provisionings, make sure that you're not using device mapper, otherwise you might have surprises when upgrading. We did not receive any error reports yet, and it's been in beta for more than 2 months and in stable for more than a month. So we're pretty confident that it did not introduce any breakage. So we're going to remove that announcement going forward. The next one is also very exciting. So starting in early 2025, we will retire support for cgroups v1 entirely. cgroups v1 is currently supported in a backwards compatibility legacy mode. This will go away because upstream systemd, starting with systemd 256, will not support cgroups anymore and has some scary kernel boot command line flags that would need to be set in order to override that. We entirely accept the direction of systemd upstream. We're not resourced to provide this backwards compatibility ourselves, so that's going to disappear. We don't know of any user space that still uses cgroups v1 exclusively. All user spaces should support v2 by now. We have introduced cgroups v2 more than 3 years ago, so that's a lot of time to migrate. We'll actually make a loud noise for cgroups v2 only to hit alpha, beta, and stable in early 2025, so you will know what to expect. Newly provisioned nodes, even right now, have been using cgroups v2, I think, for at least 2 years. Upgraded nodes that have been around for 3 years or longer, or nodes that were forced into backwards compatibility mode, will not upgrade on the new version. So we will detect that there's cgroups v1 in use on a specific node, and the upgrade comes in. The node will refuse to update because we don't want to break your workloads. So you have time to investigate, migrate to v2, and then operate your nodes on v2. As a last resort option, the Flatcar LTS 2024, which we will publish in early December, will still support cgroups v1 because it's based on the current stable. The current stable still supports backwards compatibility. and LTS 2024 will support C groups v1 throughout 2025 until it is deprecated by the LTS 2025. So that's a last resort you can take. We don't really recommend it because you should migrate to C groups v2. But if you can't, there's your escape hatch. And that's the scary warning for today. Did we update the monthly contributors report, or is it just a copy from the last report? Matthew, would you know?
Yeah, it's updated.
Nice. Oh, great work. I was scared for a second because I didn't touch it. Great work. Thank you so much. You want to take that part?
Yes, I can. So let me, or you can just click on the monthly contribution report. So yeah, as usual, each month we publish some report, all the discussions, the issues, the PR, everything related to Flatcar is kind of summarized in this issue. It gives some good statistics about times to solve an issue, times to answer to a discussion or to an issue. So yeah, the first thing is that we can say thank you to the first time contributors for this month. So we have Jan, which enhanced the tutorial. So yeah, bring some new way to phrase the stuff. So yeah, it's perfect for folks interested to get started with Flatcar. So yeah, thank you. And we have some folks who fixed the tutorial repository. That was an issue with M1, M2 Mac compatibility, so it has been solved. Thanks again. And someone fixed a broken link on the documentation. So yeah, thanks for everyone for these first contributions. And other than that, I think that's it for the monthly contribution report. You can read it if you want, if you're interested to, but yeah, it's pointless to go through all the items in this meeting.
Thanks, Matthew. And thank you for all the contributors to help driving this project forward. It's great to see. All right. Advisory status. Dongsu, any news there? Actually, I'll pick those from the contribution report because these are more.
So currently there is one critical security issue, which is OpenSSL update, and that should be updated in the next release cycle. However, as usual, OpenSSL is located under CoreOS overlay, and we need to do some manual work. So feel free to do so. And yeah, that's it for the security.
Thanks for calling out the critical ones. Those are very important to us. All right. Next one's myself, and that's the roadmap review. There's not much change here because several large roadmap items are currently in progress. We have progress in the TPM secure boot work stream. We're almost there in terms of technology. We have all of the processes figured out. We're about to document those processes and request official signing of our shim. With official signing in place, we'll be able to publish officially signed Flatcar images that have secure boot working up until the user space. And we're working on trusted boot after that, which involves a few user space tools. There's also a conversation started with the CNCF on basically shepherding the secure boot stuff from the organization side, but that just started and we don't have any updates there. Full alignment with Gentoo has made a big jump. We have portage stable, pretty much aligned. We have package automation, package update automation, like ready to merge or already merged. I'm not sure if Chui can help.
Not merged yet.
So that automation will help us to remain up to date with upstream Gentoo with all of our packages. We have similar like punctual automation with some of the packages in CoreOS overlay, like the kernel and systemd, but for portage stable, this will basically cover all of the e-builds, and that's amazing. Composable images continues to be driven forward. We're currently more in a project management phase there. We're talking with Cluster API in the CNCF in particular to look deeper into node provisioning and help them out there. And there's a recent conversation ongoing in the image builder project, which is interested in switching implementations away from what they're currently using, and they're interested in SysX as well. So that's nice. But so those are three very big chunks, and we continue to iterate on them. Right. What's next? SysX and Cluster API status update. Matthew.
Yes, quickly, there is some progress on the Cluster API side. As Thilo mentioned, we have a dedicated working group. It's a work in progress PR now, but the idea would be to talk about the new way to provision stuff in Cluster API, leveraging ignition features. So there is a pull request now, which is in draft. Feel free to have a look. But yeah, that's a big stuff. On the template side, we have the Cluster API Azure that has been merged, so it will be available at the next release. It will allow you to use the SysX approach to deploy things on Azure, so without using the image builder. We have a work in progress template for Cluster API on Google, on GCP. So yeah, let's see where it goes. And on the SysX side, we got some contribution on the bakery to bring Falco. Yes, Falco SysX image. And also there is a work in progress for the KOS Kubernetes distribution. So yeah, that's it for the SysX and Cluster API.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That's very good to hear. I see there's a Podman issue still here. I'm 90% sure we can close it because
Yeah, but it was maybe missing some documentation or something like that. Okay, for the Cola test.
we don't have docs and Cola tests yet. Yeah, okay. That's a good point. Yeah, I leave it open then.
That's a low-hanging fruit, I think.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Secure boot we need to skip largely. I can give a cursory update. That's Cyan's focus area. And there's not much going on here. So we have the procedural bits and pieces in place. Chewy did some great work on updating Grub and bringing it on par with Red Hat. He had some fixes here and there, which are being upstreamed, and we are working with the CNCF in order to understand whether they are interested to be our secure boot responsible organization. That's gonna be exciting to figure out. CNCF incubation process. I think the board needs to be updated. So that's something that Danielle would usually drive. We have the license issues mostly sorted out. We have accounts for the CNCF service desk for most of the folks that need them. We're looking into the CNCF hosted runners, which they're currently evaluating. And we want to start a discussion from moving away from Equinix Metal to Linode. Linode has popped up as a big sponsor of the CNCF during the last KubeCon, and Equinix Metal has announced that the Metal service is being sunset in 2026. So there is some headroom, but we would need to migrate our build infrastructure over to someplace else. And that's great to get support from the CNCF from that. So they'll fully equipped and fully interested to cover all of our infrastructure needs, and that's amazing. New vendors and new platforms. Mathieu.
Yes, quickly, in the latest release, we added the Proxmox support in alpha. If you want to test it, give some feedback on it. We still miss the documentation. There is a pull request opened since a while now, so you can refer to it. But yeah, it's just the latest stuff that's missing. and yeah, work in progress on the IONOS topic. So you can check the latest office hours to see the status of the IONOS support. But yeah, that's it on the new vendors.
Thank you. All right. Team tactical and implementation. I would hand off to Matthew for this as well.
Yeah. Let's see what's inside. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't prepare this section. I totally forgot.
What we can do is, if anyone on the call, we have most of the devs on the call. If anyone wants to discuss any particular issue they've been working on, then that might be a good opportunity.
I can talk about the boot partition. So I already got a change into remove grub modules for the EFI targets, because when secure boot's enabled, you can't load them anyway. Maybe a question mark over whether I should have maybe kept one or two of those that people might be using that aren't in our normal config, but yeah, that saves some space. I also recompressed everything with XC instead of gzip, and removed some test modules as well that weren't necessary. So that's all saved a lot of space. The problem is that changes like that don't get backported to older systems that are upgrading. So we still need to be mindful that the size of the kernel doesn't get so big that you can't store 2 copies of it. And we need to work out a plan for that, whether that's backporting those changes or doing some other things, or maybe updating grub on those systems eventually, which is obviously you need to be very careful. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Last item. Yeah, sorry, anyone else wants to raise any in progress issue? That's fine.
Maybe Adrian, do you want to talk about systemd Linux kernel PR? Or?
All right.
Yeah, hello. So I'm waiting for the LTS release. Basically, I haven't done so. Basically, once a week or twice a week, I just rebase and get the Gen 2 upstream parts, the minor versions. So when the LTS will be cut off, we can merge those things.
We could go ahead, because the LTS will be based on the stable anyways, and the new kernel won't go to stable, right?
Okay, so then I will. So basically, those can be merged today. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will make the minor versions and go through one review process, and I think they are ready.
Cool. That's good news. They've been in the works for quite some time. So that's
yeah. The kernel version was not, because it just appeared 2 weeks ago. So on the Linux kernel, I would maybe advise to merge it a little bit later. I think we are on the minor version 1 or something like that. But with systemd, it's been a while since it got released. So
perfect. Okay. I think that's a good idea anyways. So we can basically bring systemd to beta or even to stable, and only after that update the kernel. So basically we don't have like one stable that both updates the kernel and systemd at once. That usually invites trouble. So if you could stagger that in 2 successive stables, that would probably be good. So yeah, let's go with systemd first then.
Okay, so I'll just latest version that is probably it has to a version. I saw that there was a notification already. It's 1 week or so on the website related to right.
Cool.
And one thing I will work on the RISC-V to see where I can go further than the last time I checked. Let's hope that the new changes made RISC-V a little bit easier.
Nice. Yeah, new architectures are always nice. Which reminds me, what's our status on the ARM SDK?
I put that on the back burner, but my branch for it isn't very big. I think I was maybe not familiar with the CI side of things, but now I am. So yeah, I could give that another look.
Nice.
And with people talking about like M1 Max, it seems like a nice idea, right? So
yeah, last time I tried was like a month, and I did on my ARM64 using the SDK. So it was working at that moment. What it did probably needs some care.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I don't know if Adrian sounds totally glitchy to everyone else.
Yeah, no, I think it's the connection to the server. Yeah, that's fine. I could roughly make out what was said, which is good. Nice. All right, those are good status updates. Anyone else wanna tune in for any of the items? All right, then let's do a quick look at the December release. This release will publish a new LTS. That'll be LTS 2024. That's not a big surprise. It's the current stable version, so that version will go LTS for 2025 and will be maintained until the end of 2025. Mathieu.
Are we sure we want to promote the current stable to LTS? Because we just promoted the new major stable during the last release, so maybe we can wait like one more release cycle to be sure that there is no regression in this table before promoting to LTS.
We could absolutely. So we could publish it in early 2025. That would make us basically jump a year in terms of LTSs, and we wouldn't have a 2024 release. But if there are concerns regarding stability, then yes, absolutely, we should wait.
We can discuss about it, but yeah, to me it's weird to promote LTS when we just promoted a new major stable. So maybe we didn't get enough feedback. I don't know. That's my point of view, but I would be happy to hear point of view of everyone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's have Cyan tune in on that. All right. Yeah, so there's a stable patch level release as well, and a new beta and obviously new alpha, because alpha is always a new major release. And nothing in terms of updates from my side. Anything you folks want to raise in terms of new updates and features in the December release? All right. I think it's a relatively calm release. And so my argument for making the current stable an LTS would be that there weren't like significant, huge changes in the latest stable. We updated the kernel in the stable before that, and in the latest stable, even though it was a major release, there weren't like two kind of deep changes in it, just a number of version upgrades for packages. But I'm absolutely fine to have this discussion and to stabilize further before we declare an LTS. Okay. Anything else you folks want to share for the release planning? All right. We usually have the release in the week or the week after the office hours anyways. So we will have more and updated information in the next office hours in December before releasing the December release. Which brings us to the end of the meeting. Anything you folks want to raise or share or discuss before we call it a day? Lazy consensus. Then I wish everybody to have a happy rest of November and see you back in the office hours in December. Thank you, folks.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you.